Hi, I'm Gabe Marks, and for my final portfolio for English class, I'm going to be reading a few of the poems I wrote throughout this year. So, my first poem I have is The Story Under. I hop into a fresh new game, time to win cause some pain. Defeating everyone in my way, constantly moving, can't ever stay. Enemies go down with one swing, block it out, feel nothing. Hunt, defeat any I can find. Hurt along the way, I don't mind. One last battle along the line, one last foe, victory will be mine. I get to the end, but I don't win, and that's when I know how I should begin. I hop into a fresh new game, time to win, be more tame, fight those who hurt me, make friends not family. Thinking only for myself, worry only about my health, fighting along the way only if I must, kindness shines through, find those I trust. One more awaits at the end, but he isn't called my friend. I get to the end, but I don't win, and that's when I know how I should begin. I hop into a fresh new game, time to win, but not the same. Hurt no one, save them all, making friends, standing tall. Family stays by my side the whole way. I know that I always have a place to stay. Saving those I find, healing those I see, sparing the weak, be who I want to be. One friend waits, willing to budge. He's the one that all along was the judge. I get to the end, but I don't need to win, because I knew now how I should begin. This wasn't about beating the game. It wasn't about acquiring fame. I don't need to fight to win. I need to spare those I find, saving those left behind. Because there's one thing I have learned. It's that the game's not about completion. It's about connection. I wrote this poem based off of one of my favorite games, Undertale. And in Undertale, there are three different endings, in my opinion. There is one, genocide, where you kill everyone you find and you make no friends, and in the end, you're kind of left with this empty feeling. Neutral, where you hurt some, you save some, any combination of the two. And yet again, it's you can make some friends, but you don't quite have enough of a connection for anything real. And then my favorite, which I find the best, is the pacifist, where you save everyone you find and spare them and make friends and family. And so I wrote this poem, along that line, that no matter what ending you do, you know, when you try to do genocide or neutral, you don't win. So then you go back and you reset. And then once you hit pacifist, you realize you don't need to win because there was no need to complete it. Because like I said, the game's not about completion, it's about connection. So for my next poem, it's called Multiplayer. Many a times, I ask why I play games. Unless I'm asleep or eating, I'm playing. Lots of times, I ask my friends why they play games. They say the exact same thing. I wonder what that means. People who play alone don't understand. Leaving a game finished is nice, always winning is fun. Yet when you do it alone, what's the point? Everyone asks why I play games. Really? It's because I have friends along the way. Now, this poem is one of my favorite kinds of poems. It doesn't have a rhyme scheme. However, if you look at the first letter of each sentence, it spells out multiplayer. I wrote this because, personally, when I play a game, yeah, solo games are cool and they can have some interesting parts to it, but it's more fun to play a multiplayer game with your friends. Because sometimes, like, who's going to see the things you do? Who's going to laugh alongside you? It's your friends who are there with you. So I wrote this poem because I really value multiplayer games above almost all others. For my last two poems, they're about Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's a very fun game, Metroidvania, that I find extremely interesting and I love it really. So I wrote two poems about two characters within it. First one is Lost Kin. I am lost, and it came at a cost. An empty shell, lost in my own hell, filled with something of sin, killed by my own kin. Nothing left inside to win. I am the lost kin. And this is about a character in the game known as Lost Kin who, you know, is a sort of a failed experiment and then is filled with some sort of infection that causes them to fight against the character, which is somewhat their own kin. And so it's, relates to how they're, filled with something of sin and killed by their own kin. And I find it a very interesting character and boss to fight with, and so I decided to write about it. The next one is Shade. Dark and cold, what's left of the bold, empty and with no form, like a page that is torn. Part of what was once great, die twice and you're too late, remnant of a past I made, I am known as the Shade. And the Shade is whenever your character dies, it leaves a stain of sorts on the world. It's known as the shade. And if you go back, it holds all of your money and part of your soul. So if you kill it, you get everything back. But if you die a second time, you lose all of that. That's how it relates back to empty with no form, die twice and you're too late. And part of what was once great, it was part of you. And so I find that Hollow Knight's a very interesting, game, and I decided to write 2 poems on it. Thank you for listening to my poems. And there are 2 other parts of this that I'll link in the description if you want to check them out. Thank you.